to the Speeding Bulletin report for a special St. Patrick's Day edition of the report. My name's Steve Younis from supermanhomepage.com, and here's all the Superman news for the week March 7th to March 13th, 2008. IESB.net caught up with Ozfilm Commissioner Tracy Vieira to talk about the status of the Justice League film and whether production would remain in Australia. The decision seems to be hinged on whether the movie can get a larger tax discount than what's currently being offered by the Australian federal government. IESB.net also reported from Show West indicating that writers Roberto Orci and Alex Kurtzman, who wrote Transformers and the upcoming Star Trek film, were set to write the next Superman movie script with director Bryan Singer. However, Chud.com rebuked that claim, saying that their sources tell them that Orci and Kurtzman are tied up with Transformers 2 and not in line to write the next Superman movie. EmpireOnline.com spoke with Bryan Singer about the sequel to Superman Returns, confirming that Bryan is directing the next movie and is currently in the development phase. He also talks about how the next film will differ from Superman Returns, saying, "The first one was a romantic film and a nostalgic film. I'll be the first to own up to that without making any apologies for it. I knew it was going to be that from the outset, and now that the characters are established, there's really an opportunity to up the threat levels." In TV news, the 13th episode of Smallville Season 7 aired in the US on Thursday, March 13th at 8 PM. Titled Hero, this episode saw the return of Pete Ross to Smallville, but also saw the inclusion of kryptonite-laced gum. Look for Peter McDermott's episode summary and Douglas Trumbull and Neal Bailey's episode reviews in a few days' time. The CW Network, Warner Brothers Television Group and Stride Gum are teaming up to offer fans a unique opportunity to create their own Smallville adventure in the form of a new digital comic book based on the hit TV series. Visit cwtv.com for more details on that. Jeffrey Bridges has updated our Legion of Superheroes episode guide with his summary of the most recent episode, titled In the Beginning. Jeffrey has also written his review for this same episode, rating it a 1 out of 5, citing wasted potential for his low score. Legion of Superheroes unveils another all-new episode entitled Trials in the series' all-new time slot at 9:30 AM this Saturday, March 15th on Kids WB on the CW in the US. In Trials, the evil sorcerer Mordru has attacked the magical planet of Zarok, forcing the young and immature wizard Zix to return to the Legion for help. And speaking of Legion of Superheroes, WorldsFinestOnline.com reports that Warner Brothers Animation has decided to stop producing the animated series at the end of its current season. In comic book news, the Superman homepage Ask Matt fan forum was updated this week, with Matt Idelson, DC Comics editor of the Superman comic books, answering your questions about the Superman books. He also supplied us with a sneak peek at artwork from the upcoming Action Comics Annual Number 11, which will finally feature the conclusion of the Last Son story arc. Comic books we reviewed this week include Justice League The New Frontiers Special Number 1. It was reviewed by Barry Fryman, who rated the Greater Good story a 5 out of 5, the Drag Strip Riot story a 4 out of 5, and the Mother of the Movement story a 5 out of 5. Barry also reviewed Countdown to Final Crisis 8, saying, "This was kind of a whiny issue and the issue ends with the same cliffhanging question it opens with." He rated it a 2 out of 5. Supergirl number 27 was reviewed by Jeffrey Bridges, who rated it a 2 out of 5, saying, "This issue is just full of senseless inconsistencies." Infinity Inc. number 7 is the last issue we'll be reviewing of this series. As Neal explained in his review, "This is the first title that's so bad that I'm going to refuse to review it any further." He rated this a 1 out of 5. For something different, Jeffrey Taylor reviewed Not Brand Ech number 7, a Marvel comic book published in April 1967 that featured the origin of Stuperman, a Superman parody. Superman comics shipping this week from March 12 include Countdown to Final Crisis 7, JLA Classified number 54, Superman 674, Superman Confidential number 13, and reactivated Series 4 Super Squad Superman action figure. For the 7th year in a row, Six Flags New England's Superman Ride of Steel has been voted amongst the top 2 roller coasters in the world, taking out the number 1 spot again for 2007. In 1975, Murray Bishop and Alan Light, founder of Comic Buyer's Guide, interviewed Jerry Siegel at the San Diego Comic Convention. Soon after, Jerry wrote 2 letters to Alan Light in December of 1975 and January 76. Both these letters are posted at the Superman homepage now. The 1975 San Diego Comic Convention interview with Jerry Siegel was recorded, and the unedited recording runs 47 minutes. We're hoping to bring you that complete 47-minute audio interview later this month. There's lots of news surrounding this year's Superman celebration in Metropolis, Illinois. The city of Metropolis is looking for the perfect Man of Steel for their 30th annual Superman celebration, taking place June 12th through June 15th in Metropolis, Illinois. On March 15th, Superman hopefuls will be able to log on to searchforsuperman.com to upload their Superman audition videos, while the Metropolis, Illinois celebration and inkedmonkey.com have teamed to launch the first annual Superman Celebration fan film contest. Go to inkedmonkey.com for more details. And finally, fans attending this year's Superman celebration should note that the 15th annual Superman auction and dinner will take place June 14th at the Baymont Theatre, formerly known as the Amerihost Theatre. Visit supermanauction.weebly.com for ticket information. Be sure and check out our retro review of the Superboy Season 1 episode Troubled Waters and the Superman radio series story The Mechanical Man. And that's all the Superman related news for the week, March 7 to March 13. I'm Steve Younis from supermanhomepage.com.
Final crisis! Final crisis! The end of all that is! Worlds will live and die, and Supergirl will probably die, and Flash will probably die, and people who are going to come back in 3 months are going to die, and I can't take it anymore! What's gonna happen? Oh, man.
Way too much mail.
Yes, I do. Thank you. I'm in the middle of a video. Anyway, so Final Crisis is supposed to be the crisis to end all crises, which is what the last crisis was supposed to be and what the first crisis was supposed to be. And, you know, people like by Dan Didio impression a couple weeks ago, you want this or die! You want this or die! And I just can't get excited. Can you get excited about Final Crisis? It's Grant Morrison, and it's supposed to be cool. You know, Grant Morrison's pretty good, generally. And you get art by J.G. Jones, who was fantastic on the 52 covers. But it just doesn't feel like an event to me yet. There's no publicity behind it, really, behind a couple of Dan DiDio interviews. All we know is that it's got this person named Libra, who appears to be a book-based hero. It looks like something out of Morrison's Seven Soldiers of Victory, and I didn't read that because I found it boring. And it's a plot where the bad guys win. Well, that hasn't been done before. What a unique concept. No, wait, it has. See, that's the whole point, is that there's an exchange of success in conflict. The good guys win, the bad guys win. The good guys win, the bad guys win. And it escalates to this thing called the... Anybody? Anybody? The climax! Yes, yes! But the problem is, comics, they don't have the 5-act structure. They have continuing, rising, action. And the problem with the burnout is we get to about here, and then there's nothing more you can do, really, to ratchet up the action, so you have to kind of baseline and do character-based stories, at least in a postmodern context. That's why they used to have the reset button, because they knew that you couldn't go like this without eventually reaching the top, and which is a reboot, which is where Spider-Man is right now. And you see I'm kind of over here. So will Final Crisis be the litmus for me? Yes, Final Crisis is my last time way up here without getting burned out. Unless it's an extraordinarily character-based story, it's going to drive me away from comics, which is a weird thing, given how much I've invested into them. What do you guys think? That's the whole point of an editorial rant, is to get you guys talking about these things. So get in the comments, and let me know what you think. Is Final Crisis your last straw, or is it your hope for the future, or have you already decided? You know, that happens a lot in fandom. Let me know.